flying. I was free. Sooner or later, though, you always have to wake up. And this week has been one of those ongoing moments of waking up for me in ways that I don't want to wake up. For you, St. Francis folks, this community has been a space for me of dreams, a space where I can rest and fly and become and do. And I love resting in you and who you are and the space that you provide. To be able to be here in this space of theology that's easy for me to agree with instead of the stuff I've sometimes had to deal with. You've had to deal there, haven't you? Some of those spaces of ministry where I've worked that haven't been as open and easy. Anyone else find that same type of space here? That space of safety and empowerment? And we sing that song, we sang it a few weeks ago, and I asked you to sing it, I see the light of God in you, right? And I ask you to sing that into your world and not just to the people who were here, because I got to tell you that standing up here, it's easy to see the light of God in this room and to see your eyes reflecting that light back to me. But I ask you to carry that song out into that space, wherever that space was. And that's harder sometimes because how many have at least one person who make it challenging? One person who makes it so you don't really even want to look, let alone find. This week for me it was Micah Xavier Johnson. And in him, I find it hard to sing songs of God. For he woke me up again to the atrocities that we commit in one another's lives. He was the shooter in Dallas. Woke me up to the awful ways that we hurt each other and that we hurt ourselves in this world in which we live in. As we try to make sense of that world and try to move forward, we so often get into places where we deviate and we become contrary to each other. And our call to awareness says that a rose must be pruned, and I hate it every time it happens. Because this pruning doesn't feel like a natural thing to me. And it doesn't feel like it can help us move forward and bloom. And I don't like it. But I don't know how to run away from it either. For me, it feels like this scripture I made you listen to. How many didn't like listening to that scripture? Or reading it. I get that. But isn't this a week where we saw dragon and beast? And once again, they became apparent in our world. And those images are meant to evoke an emotional response to us. We're supposed to hate them. And yet, did you see what the end of the scripture said, the last line of the scripture? In amazement, the whole world followed them. And the hard part is we want to think that everyone else follows the beast, that everyone else listens to the dragon, but the whole world listens to these awful images that divide us and bring wrong into our lives and into our world. The struggle in my soul is not just because there's been too many shootings, which there have been. It seems like every week we have something new to mourn, doesn't it? In Orlando, it was easy to love the victims and hate the shooter because I found the connection to the victims and I found hatred for the shooter. But in Dallas, we have this confusing conglomerate of issues and motivations and events that make it hard for me to decide just where to sit. This was a peaceful parade celebrating Black Lives Matter and trying to lift up that call into our world. And it was peaceful people walking and peaceful police, not in riot gear, surrounding the event. And then the bullets started flying. From a man who, in many ways, politically is like me, and who I agree with in so many ways. And yet, as I looked at the paper, I see all kinds of things that drive a knife deep into my soul. For it speaks of the victims, a newlywed, a mother of 4, a gay rights advocate. And it speaks of other shootings in Tennessee, and protesters all around the country, and the use of a killer robot to defuse the situation. And again, as I read these passages, my heart was hurt because I couldn't quite make sense of the easy way. And I saw the beast of what some people had chosen, and then I saw the beast of what I had chosen. For you see, as I said, that shooter was one who I agreed with in so many ways. And he was absolutely wrong in his actions. So how have I supported that beast? And what do I do about it now? Last week we talked about that watchman on the wall. Now we're supposed to be there, and we're supposed to watch, and we're supposed to find, and we're supposed to do, and we're supposed to become. And the problem with that image is so often we become the watchman on the wall who pulls out the gun and starts shooting at those we disagree with. That's not the way that's supposed to happen. It's not us against them. It's about taking ourselves when we see whatever that is and inserting ourselves into that space. Becoming not the shooter on the wall, but a helper in the nighttime of someone's soul. And doing something to make a difference in a life. But to do that, we have to move beyond this comfort space that we're in. This space where everything's safe for me. And I have to step down from the wall and into the blue alien suit. Jake Sully, our soldier, from the beginning, that was what he did. He had his definition of life. He said, "This is who I am. My brother, he's the scientist. I'm just the grunt who does the hard work." And then he lost his legs and his brother died. And he was offered the opportunity to step into his brother's work. The scientist who was part of a program of avatars, where a person could be inserted into this blue alien body and then be able to become part of a different world. Because, see, These avatars were made because Pandora, the planet, was a scary place. And the name is chosen very deliberately from Greek mythology of Pandora's box, where all the evil came out into the world. And Pandora is that type of world where human beings can't breathe the air. And there's all this stuff that's just not anything like what we're used to. And there's those big blue aliens. But Jake becomes part of the program of saying, let's take ourselves and put them into these avatars and become part of that world. Be able to live in that world in order to understand and move and do something in that world. And there's a reason for it all. It's to get a mineral. Isn't that often true of us? We have some goal, and in this case, I think it's just so funny, the name of the mineral, unobtainium. Because often what we seek for is that type of thing. We've just got to have it. It powers this, that, or the other thing, but at what expense? And what do we do to each other in our pursuit of it? But when we insert ourselves into that blue alien suit, and we go out there in that avatar, and we go to see what that foreign world is like, it's a challenge to us. And we often want to retreat. But I got to tell you that this scene that I'm going to show you is exactly how I'm feeling during these last couple of weeks, these last couple of months.
Look at this one. Run, don't run, what?
Run! Definitely run!
Have you ever had a day, or a month, or a year like that, where everything's mounting up against you, and you're just running? And the tough part about this is it doesn't just end there, because there he is out in the middle of the jungle in that new space he's gotten into, and night falls. Because when you insert yourself wholly into something else, it's not always simple. When you choose to place yourself completely into that foreignness that is the blue alien suit, suit and the world around it. When you choose to step beyond what's easy for you and into that new space where God is calling, it often drags you into challenging places, things that you don't understand, things that feel dangerous. And we often want to just retreat back out of that suit and say, give me safety, give me the wall. Let me stand back there and shoot from the wall. But the call of God draws us into that space and asks us to insert ourselves completely. And one of the things that we learn when we're there, we're truly open. We learn that we're just as shady and suspicious and undesirable to them as they are to us. And that on both sides of whatever issue is there, we're pushing each other away and hiding. And yet the most amazing thing happens when we go into that place where we choose to become part of that foreign world. In that dark night, in that space where Jake Sully found himself, he was being watched by one of them, a young lady named Natiri. And she watched, and she didn't want to help, but he got himself in a place where the predators are all around him. And she steps in, and she stops the danger, and then wants to leave.
You have a strong heart. No fear. But stupid. Ignorant like a child.
Well, if I'm like a child, then, maybe you should teach me.
It's got you looking up there you don't see.
You didn't teach me how to see.
No one can teach you to see.
But come on, you can't just talk. Say, where'd you learn to speak English? After I see school.
You're like a baby. It sounds okay.
I need your help.
You should not be here.
Okay, then leave.
No.
No.
Okay. Go back. Dana! No! Angelina! Angelina.
What are they?
Seeds of the sacred tree. Very pure spirits.
What was that all about?
Come. Come.
I see the light of God in you. The shining light of love come through. Not so much so we see it here, because it's easy to see it here. The really important place where we sing it is where we sing it in all those places where we're looking at Jake Sully in a blue alien suit, and we know the falsity of who he is. We want to push him away. But we need to sing it. And somehow see, like Materi did, that light of God resting in them somehow. Beyond all reason, beyond everything that stands in front of me, beyond the words they're speaking in the moment and the actions that are dividing us, somehow we've got to figure out how to see the light of God in that person, in that moment. Because if we don't, at best, we become distant from each other. And at worst, we become angry and hateful and violent. And they feel the same way towards us. But God rests there, calling to see if somehow we can see that light in each other. And that's the other possibility, that in each other we can see the mystery of how God can be present beyond reason, beyond my opinions, beyond my stances. Somehow God can be present. Nan Mordecai goes on to say, we must allow ourselves to be recreated. This is the only way to live the spiritual life. Every moment is a doorway to a new possibility. Fall in love with mystery. Let go. Have no fear. Have courage to surrender. At the end, the colonel, the big evil character, goes and disconnects Jake from the machine, turns it off so that the big blue alien suit falls lifeless. And Materi stands over that which she saw as Jake. And then looks and realizes that that's not Jake. Jake is something more. So she runs over to where he is, lying, dying because he's breathing the air of this planet. She goes and brings the gas mask that he needs, bringing oxygen to his life. And there, that big blue alien and that little white human look into each other's eyes, and they say the most marvelous words. I see you. Beyond all the differences, beyond all the definitions of what they thought was the essence, they see what is truly true about each other. I see you. In Hinduism, avatar means a manifestation of deity here in body or form. And the big blue alien people call themselves Navi, which in Greek means prophet. One that we allow to speak into our life in a new way and allow us to discover God present with us, around us, and in them. Listen to the blue people sing. Listen to the blue people sing. Listen to the blue people sing. Listen, God is singing. God is singing. Don't let the hurt you feel build walls. Don't let the struggle in your soul cause you to push away. Step towards that person, those others, whoever they are. Step towards and see God present in them. Let them be part of the Navi that speak into your life. Amen?
Amen.
Let's stand and sing.